Hi, everyone, and welcome to Play on K, the Korean drama podcast with Emily
and Raquel.
And this is the show where we usually take a K-drama, we watch it 2 episodes at a time, and then we get together here every week to talk about it. But this week, we're doing something different.
Yeah, happy 300. Happy 300th birthday, Play on K. Just kidding. It's an actual, like, there's an annual number of years.
7-year? 7-year anniversary?
Yes, 7-year anniversary and 300th episode, all happening right around the same time.
Yeah. Happy anniversary to us, Raquel.
Yeah, happy anniversary to us, Emily.
Well, we've got something special this episode. We've got a lot of special stuff.
Yes. So we decided, originally, I will say we thought we had done 50 K-dramas. And so we thought that it would be really fun to do tier lists for the first 50 K-dramas that we reviewed and talked about on our podcast. And then we remembered that is not the case. So we have not done 50, but we're pretty darn close.
Yeah, it's like
so
48 or 49.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing. We're still doing the party, just without the perfect 50. We've got the perfect 300, the 7-year anniversary. We just don't have 50 perfect K-dramas because we counted seasons 1 and 2 separately for most of our dramas. So we overcounted a little bit.
Yeah, I guess if we wanted to like tier list seasons separately, that would be unreal, though. That would be so bad.
The only one I wanted to was Alchemy of Souls, which we can get to, but
yeah, because it felt like 2 different K-dramas.
Yeah, but even then, I would probably put them in the same tier, you know, like maybe.
Yeah.
So it's fine. We'll group them together as a K-drama.
Yes. Yep. What else do we want to talk? It's so weird to like not have the same flow for me that we always do for our episodes. So I actually feel a little bit thrown. Was there anything else we were supposed to talk about before we hopped into putting these in a tier list?
Maybe a disclaimer. I don't know if that's cowardly, but being like, this is for sure just our opinions. All K-dramas are good and deserve to be loved by the people who they are made for. They're not all made for me and Raquel. It just so happens that we've watched some we didn't care for, and they might be your favorite show ever. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. So sorry if that's the case. And like Emily said, I don't think it's cowardly to do a disclaimer. I think that it is transparent. I think that we are being upfront about how we feel a little bit nervous saying, we say we feel nervous, and then we will like periodically roast K-dramas that we remember, but only in name and not in any other detail.
That's the other thing. I don't have memory. I have the memory of a goldfish. So, like, I'm sorry if I say stuff that's completely wrong about your K-drama.
Yeah. Oops. I think the only other part of the disclaimer I think is important to include is that there's a solid chance we will get to a K-drama that we completely disagree on, and we will probably have to just do like the Play on K rating, where we always split. We go right between where me and Emily say, which again isn't clearly indicative of what tier it's in, but we'll just have to kind of, I'm a pushover, so I'll probably just be like, no, Emily's right.
Oh no. And I don't remember anything, but I have the confidence to put it in whatever tier I believe it goes into.
If anyone can pitch something to me with confidence, it completely changes my mind. Can't wait until we get to another Miss O. And you and I can really get into, like, that one's gonna be, I think, a tough one. But
there's gonna be a couple toughies. We'll get there when we get there. Should we jump in with our oldest K-dramas, the stuff that we watched when we first started?
Yes, I'm really excited. I know what we watched first.
W. Between Two Worlds.
W. Sorry, last thing. We have this presentation that we're doing as a video. So if you're listening to only audio, we actually have like a full tier list up that we will be updating as we go. So you can find our video on Patreon, I believe. I don't know if we're going to post it anywhere else.
We might put this one on YouTube, just since it's such a big deal.
It feels right. So... check out when this goes live. Check out YouTube as well. Man,
YouTube.com/playing
any of my shit together to like, yeah. And probably watch this video with our tier list that we're updating live. Now we can get into it. W.
Oh.
W.
Where would you place it? So our tiers
are
S class.
Title. W
Between Two Worlds. I think.
Okay.
So our tiers, if you just want to listen: S class, no notes, basic, not a rewatch, wouldn't recommend. So I tried to be nice with these of like basic, not a rewatch, wouldn't recommend. Again, feels very personal to like us. What would we recommend to people? Versus that being like the bottommost tier. It doesn't mean it's the utterly worst drama, but we just wouldn't recommend it to anybody without knowing what they like.
Yeah. Yep. I think
I know
that's
where I'm putting W.
Perfection. Okay, I would pitch it interestingly for reasons. I would pitch it probably as not a rewatch. Which is interesting only because we have rewatched it, but I remember being really, really bored when we were rewatching it.
Wow. I was gonna put it no notes. I was gonna put it way too high.
Oh no, so does that put it at basic if we split the difference?
I guess it's basic. It's just a basic key drama.
Am I bad?
You're just bad at this game. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just so surprised. I think, but for me, it's very much a nostalgia thing because it's maybe the only K-drama I've watched 3 times. No, there's one other. We'll get to that shortly, but we just watched it so many times that I'm like, W is part of my K-drama upbringing.
Yeah, I think that's part of, because it is important to me in a lot of ways, but I feel like I just know too much now, right? And going back, I could see the flaws. And so that's why I'm like, maybe don't rewatch it, right? Where it's like, for sure watch it once, maybe don't rewatch it, you'll see the flaws.
Okay. So I'll say basic. Yeah, that feels
next.
good.
Basic is good. Yeah. Okay. So next we have Oh My Venus, which I'm ready to put this. Shoot, I said I'm ready, and now I'm going between 2 different tiers.
Oh no, which ones are you going between?
No notes and S class.
Ooh.
Because that one is my rose tinted spectacles. I have so many good warm fuzzy memories from watching Oh My Venus. But again, that's one that I remember where the problems were too. I remember a couple of things. They were small notes, but they were present, So
it feels like one where if we put it in no notes, it raises the average for that category by a lot, but it doesn't feel quite S class.
Yes.
All right, no notes is going to have a high bar. I was going to put it in no notes.
Okay.
Because I love it.
Okay.
But like you said, it feels more nostalgic, more part of just I love it because I love it. But S class feels like the category I want to be the most objective about. I want to be able to recommend the S tier K-dramas to anybody at any time and not have to give any caveats.
Yeah. I think that's a very good criteria for S-Class, for us, a good litmus for us doing these judgments, which brings us to Goblin.
For me, S-Class, 100%. But what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's also S-Class for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's hard because we just said no caveats, no, like, would recommend it to anyone. And, like, if they love romance
and fantasy.
But it's just so high quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do think it genuinely has something for everyone. So I think it's S-Class.
And almost all of our 50 dramas are going to be romance. Sorry, that's kind of what we're into.
Yep, 100%. That is... I mean, they're all K-dramas, so that's also another thing where it's like, obviously, K-drama watchers are going to want to, for sure, S-Class watch Goblin.
Yes.
All right. Next.
Oh no. While you're sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where does it go? Is it basic?
I think my very first inclination was basic. I then thought maybe about putting it in not a rewatch because I am psychotic, but I think I want to go with my first gut instinct, which is basic.
Okay, I first thought no notes, and then I was like, that's a bit much. Basic felt a lot more right to me. It's good. It's a good drama. People like it.
It is.
So basic.
It's solid. It feels like it's got that super solid 2016 K-drama structuring.
Yes.
So 2017.
This is getting harder as we go. Next is Hwayugi. I loved it so much in my heart, but I don't know if I would rewatch it.
This is the first one we've gotten to that I have not ever rewatched, because we did a period of time on our Patreon where we were going back through and rewatching old dramas, and we got to While You Were Sleeping, and then we stopped doing rewatches. So this is the first one that, like, genuinely I can say I have not rewatched. I remember the plot being really complicated. And like fairly high fantasy, and I remember the fashion more than anything, right?
Yeah, the fashion and the dragon are what stand out to me.
The really, really tough sell CGI dragon.
The worst rendering of a dragon in any show. And I'm so sorry for that. It's such a cool moment story-wise. But it really tints the show in a bad light.
What are you feeling? What's in your heart? I'm having a hard time with this one.
Yeah, I want to put everything in basic. I think maybe this one's not a rewatch, though.
Yeah. I mean, and like basic is what makes basic, right? Like I'm expecting there to be quite a few in there. But
yeah,
I do think this one is probably not a rewatch. I don't remember not enjoying it. I remember enjoying it. I just don't think I will ever take the time to rewatch it.
That's fair. I think that's why I named the tiers in such a cowardly manner, to be like, it's not bad. I just wouldn't rewatch it. And that feels more right than being like, here's good ones and here's bad ones. It's like, no, we haven't really watched bad ones. But there's some that I wouldn't come back to, and Hwayugi might be one of those. Whoops.
Yep. Ooh. The cast was great. I remember that too.
Yes.
All right. So this one feels like it's a little controversial. Our next one. It's the K2.
Mm-hmm. It's our K2. It's Ji Chang-wook.
It's our K2, right? So it's like our hearts. I think both of our hearts say S class, right? Does it qualify for the S class in the sense that, like, hands down, like, it's above no notes, right? It's above note. Did we ever have any notes? It's like I do, but it's Ji Chang-wook. It's the K2. I think this was my first ever, because we did watch it before Goblin. We watched it before we started the podcast and loved it, and then rewatched it for the podcast. It was my first ever favorite K-drama.
Yeah, I'm putting it in S class. I think you talked me into it.
I think it's got to. Yeah.
It's lacking in
It's
romance,
so
for sure. But every other point, it's so perfect on, including the rest of the plot. It's just not a romance K-drama, which I feel like we have often come back to as being a detriment to the show, because there is a romantic storyline, and it's just not that good. But the rest of the show is just so flawless. It's like, if you don't care about romance, you're probably going to enjoy it even more.
Yeah, like, you're going to be so invested in everything that's happening. So yeah, I think it feels right to me to put it as class.
Yeah, cool. What about Descendants of the Sun?
Another controversial one, because it feels like such a classic.
Yeah.
To me, at least. And it's got a couple of those scenes in it that feel like they come into my brain when I think of K-dramas. But my heart says it's basic.
Oof. I think that's where my heart instantly said it was, and then, like you said, the nostalgia factor was trying to talk myself into no notes. I want it to be in no notes, but especially as time has gone by and we've gotten more and more and better K-dramas, it kind of feels basic. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's basic. It's so good. But not. It's somebody's something. It probably just wasn't for us.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I just remember parts of it that didn't hit. So I think those things make it ultimately basic.
And yeah, hindsight makes it more basic. I'm sure if we listened back to our episodes, we were probably all over that. It was probably 100%. So good.
We were babies. We didn't know.
We didn't know. It was the best thing we'd ever seen. So if you're new to K-dramas, maybe start with Descendants of the Sun. You're going to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. It does feel like a good beginner K-drama.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of not for us, though, Chicago Typewriter is next on the list.
Oh.
One that
I think that we probably agree.
Where it goes.
Yes, one that...
Oh. I'll put it in would recommend.
100%. That one feels good. I'm glad that we both agree on the very first wouldn't recommend, because I do fear the time when one of us says that's for sure wouldn't recommend and the other says, are you kidding me?
Because it's very beloved by so many people, so I'm still very self-conscious about Chicago Typewriter and how much we did not enjoy it. But yeah, I think you and I will always be on the same page. Like, didn't like it.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
What is the picture for the next one?
That one's You're Beautiful, which I'm worried we will disagree on.
I'm also worried we'll disagree on this one. I don't. What are you saying? What are you feeling? What do you think? What do you?
I'm at wouldn't recommend.
Okay, that's where I wanted to put it too.
Oh, really? Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I was kind of a little bit feeling not a rewatch because I just think that it's a product of its time more than anything. It's the oldest K-drama we've ever watched.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, it is a classic. It just, I wouldn't recommend it in the way that I wouldn't recommend an old video game that I love to someone who's playing video games and had never seen it, right? Because it's like rose-tinted spectacles can give you the ability to replay the oldest, crustiest video game, let me tell you. But if I handed that to someone who never played it, wasn't that interested in it, maybe is new to video gaming, and they're like, what is this? Why are you handing me this? The graphics are garbage. It's not good. It's not good, right? Where it's like, it has its audience, and that audience probably saw it when it was in its time, in its prime. So.
Yeah, that is very eloquently also how I feel. But Raquel said it better. It feels like somebody else would love it, but a little bit based on their experience watching it for the first time versus us watching it in like 2018, 2019. Didn't hit home.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't quite the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry. I hope we're not making enemies.
So I did the disclaimer.
Yeah, these are our opinions. This is all we have.
Okay, touch your heart.
Touch your heart. Basic?
Yeah, it was either basic or not a rewatch. Basic feels alright because it was cute. Don't really remember it.
Yeah. Yeah, heartwarming, I think. And it was very nice, and we got to see the two beautiful people reunite from Goblin. And so that felt good. That felt really, really good. It gave us what we needed.
It was alright. It wasn't like we expected Goblin level from it, I think, going into it. It's not that. Yeah. It's fine.
It's fine. It's good.
It's fine. The next one's Encounter.
This one's tough because I only remember vibes. I only remember vibes, and one very specific thing that set it apart that made me like it, but I don't know if that's enough to maybe elevate it in the tier list, and that's that it's the only K-drama I have ever seen or heard of, imagined could possibly have a female lead who is the wealthy, older person, a Nuna romance. She has all of the money, she's got the status, and a male lead who is not wealthy, from a family that I think they sell vegetables or they're grocers maybe. And that is something that I love about this show. I don't remember that many other things about this show. And again, I'm not sure if that's enough to elevate it amongst the tiers, other than the fact that I'm just really proud of it.
That's
also
fair.
Park Bo-gum's haircut in the first episode is so cute.
The first episode of that show feels like no notes, and then the rest of it feels like basic.
Yeah. I think it's probably basic.
Okay. Dang it, oh my Venus. Get out of no notes, because now nobody else can join you.
We've elevated it too far. Her private life.
That might be no notes for me.
And that feels like no notes for me too. I think that's good.
Okay. That's a good one. That's I would recommend to a lot of people.
Yeah. Like, you have to love romance for that one, but
that might be our no notes tier. It's like really good from the fluffy romance dramas.
Yeah. 100% romance fluff is no notes.
We're gonna blast through this one. Lovely Horribly.
Wouldn't recommend.
All right. No real notes on that one. If you know anything about it, you probably know why it's in wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
I loved the
if you've
actors.
seen any amount of it. Yeah. It has Lee Gi-kwang in it, who I really, really love. He's the secondary male lead, and I love him as a person and as a musician. I think he's so great. He's not enough to elevate it. I also loved the female lead a lot.
She's the running man. She is Running Man. She's the Running Man is I think what I said.
She carries Running Man on her shoulders.
She is in Running Man.
So Running Man could run.
Oh, never let me speak again. The next show is Healer.
Healer,
Ji Chang-wook.
Ji Chang-wook. I remember loving Healer because it's got heist vibes, and I love a heist. I kind of like it for no notes, but there is a bigger part of me that's saying basic.
I like it for no notes. I think Ji Chang-wook always makes me inclined towards S-class, and then I have to like lower it down from there and be like, it wasn't that good. Okay, I don't think it was basic.
Yeah, I don't think it was basic. I think the only thing that had me going for basic is I don't remember a whole bunch about it. But now I'm thinking about it, I can remember a lot more plot points. I think I just haven't sat with Healer for a really long time.
Yeah, it doesn't live in my head at all. But now that I'm looking at their faces, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good show. No notes.
Yeah. No notes. Is the next one no, that's not Hotel de Luna, is it?
It is
Hotel de Luna. That one, I feel like I've said my opinion first a couple times in a row. What do you feel?
Are you feeling vulnerable? Did I put you on the spot? I'm sorry.
I'm feeling vulnerable because I talk a lot and I put myself on the spot.
Oh no. You're good at talking. And you have a good memory for a lot of these older dramas that we have not watched in the many years now. I would say Hotel de Luna's not a rewatch. That feels controversial.
That feels good to me.
Yes.
Love IU. Loved her outfits. The blandest male lead. I want to say this with the strongest upfront acknowledgement that it is not the actor's fault necessarily. I don't know. I've never seen him anywhere else. I saw him in this and only this. I don't know him in his work. But I don't remember there being a lot of other characters that I was like, but this character 100% would die for them, you know? So it's not like, I don't know. I don't want to play the blame game. I'm just saying that one character, so bland, so I can't remember a thing about him other than
that's fair.
His face sometimes.
It feels like the Kristen Stewart effect, where in Twilight she was the blandest person, and now so many years later, such a cool person, a badass, and we appreciate that. I'm waiting for this guy to return to my screen because he's probably been in other stuff and been fantastic. But I'm sure he read that character and was like, this is a basic ass man. This is the most basic human I've ever heard of. And I will play him as such. And he did a wonderful job.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
He 100% did. It's hard to play across from IU and be memorable, I guess.
Yeah,
not that it's her fault either. She's very lovable.
Too perfect.
Too perfect.
What about Just Between Lovers?
Between friends?
Just Between Friends, as Raquel called it for years, consistently. We don't know why, but they were lovers eventually. So, Just Between Lovers, I would say no notes.
I would say sorry, give me a moment to sit with it. Just a quick second. If you have anything to riff about Just Between Lovers and or friends.
That would be helpful. The only thoughts in my head are, if you say basic, I will kill myself. If you say S-class, it might be too much. So it has to be no notes. I just...
No notes.
How did you come to that conclusion? It just feels like one of those dramas that no matter how much I enjoyed it, which I enjoyed it a lot, it felt impactful. Kind of, we'll get to this one later, similar to 39, where you're just like, it changed my life. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I do feel a little bit scarred by it. There was a lot of trauma in that show. And I don't know if I signed up for that, but it was beautiful. And I loved the leads, and there was a great romance. So it did check all my boxes and deserves some respect. That's why it feels no notes.
Yeah, I feel that. It's a very good drama. It's very moody and lots of, like you said, lots of drama to work through, but they do it in a very good way. And yeah, you're right. It's definitely no notes. It's already there.
It's already there. How did it get there? Oops. But what about Suspicious Partner?
For Suspicious Partner, I would do... I mean, when I look at the dramas that are in no notes, I don't know if I loved it as much as I loved what's currently up there, which makes me inclined to put it in basic, but I don't know if it's basic either.
Yeah. It's, for me, a very personal drama. I remember watching it, I think for the second or third time, after I graduated college, and I moved back in with my dad just for a couple months before flying off to Japan. And so it feels like that summer was very tinted by this drama. It's like what I think of when I think of that period in my life. And so I'm like, Suspicious Partner, you were part of such a transformative, transitional part of my life. So I love you so much. But then thinking about the drama itself, I'm like, was it that good? Or do I just think it's that good? You know?
Yeah. It was it made a big impression on me for an obviously very different reason. Your reason's very personal. Mine's also very personal. It's super weird. I have, and we talked about this so much when we were watching Suspicious Partner, I have a really weird, irrational fear of being accused of a crime I didn't commit. And so whenever I am watching that play out on screen, it makes me very anxious. And so I remember knowing that it was very good and that it was funny and comical and just a good time with drama, obviously. It's a K-drama. But my whole memory of Suspicious Partner was just a simmering panic through all of the episodes as they navigated a plot line that is one of my super weirdly set anxieties, like deep set anxieties. So
oh no,
it's such a weird drama for me because I am aware that it's very good and that my experience with it was both good and unusual.
Okay.
For my own reasons.
Oh no. It might be basic.
From everything you said, though, it sounds like you feel very deeply no notes for Suspicious Partner.
But like I said, I can't remember many things about it. It's just that it's like a fun summer drama. And it's got Ji Chang-wook, so, you know, it's good.
It's good. It's, yeah. Ugh. It's probably... Why is this one the hardest one? I did not expect to get tripped up by Suspicious Partner this bad. Because I keep on trying to decide which one. Like you said, it's probably basic. And I keep trying to say the same thing. And then I can't say it, but then when I try and say, well, then probably it's no notes, I also am having a hard time saying that.
It just doesn't feel like it fits with no notes.
Yeah, it's probably basic.
But go watch it. Yeah, like I said, I tried to label these to not be like, basic means not worth your time, you know? It's like, right. Basic is still good.
It is. It's worth your time.
It's worth your time. Yeah. Go watch Suspicious Partner.
The next one's easy.
Yes. The next two, I think we're in agreement, maybe, is Crash Landing on You clearly the S-class?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Crash Landing on You is S-class. There is no debate.
Okay. You said a big and I got so nervous.
Actually, I would never recommend anyone watch the best K-drama. Hands down.
Just the best K-drama, period. Wouldn't recommend. Obscene. What about Uncontrollably Fond? Because that feels like S-class to me.
Uncontrollably Fond. Sorry, it's S-class.
I guess not. No.
There was one episode of Uncontrollably Fond that was S-class. And the rest, we railed on Uncontrollably Fond for 90% of Uncontrollably Fond. We hated this show.
But the one episode put it all back. And it was the last one. That's all you remember.
I do only remember the last episode. And hating every other episode.
Yeah, it's probably not a rewatch either way. I'm not inclined, because spoilers, I mean, if you've seen the first 10 seconds of the first episode, you know that this one has a sad ending, and it does.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, I probably wouldn't rewatch it.
Yeah, because it doesn't really qualify for the description of no notes. But it's either S-class, as in it was that last episode was so good that we forgot how much we hated every other episode, or it's not a rewatch in the sense that, yeah, it's really, that last episode's really, really good, but it's too devastating to ever rewatch it again.
Yes.
Do you want to put it in not a rewatch? Are we misleading?
I think you talked me into it. I think in my brain it sits as an S-class K-drama. But like you said, when 19 of the 20 episodes, I don't remember if that's factual, let's say there's 19 out of 20 episodes that we did not like. That kind of makes it really bad. Probably almost wouldn't recommend, but that final episode really saves it. It just, is so devastating that I could never rewatch it.
No, I would never turn it back on and say, can't wait to hop back into this for any of the episodes, including the best episode.
Yeah. Which is ironic because I think a lot of our S-class is and will continue to be sad ending K-dramas.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you can't rewatch them. They're too sad.
Too sad.
Except I know... Anyway, we'll talk about that one when we get to it. I'll bring this moment back up when we get there.
Okay.
Our next one, is that good casting?
It is good casting.
I loved good casting so much, but I don't know how to rank it.
I have no idea, man.
It's tough because I do, based on the fact that no one else is talking about good casting, makes me feel like either we stumbled on a hidden gem, or it just catered to the parts of you and me that are exactly the same, and we're looking for this exact K-drama. Because we have the best time watching good casting. And yeah, like I said, no one else has ever... I've never heard anyone say a word about good casting. I've never seen a reel or a screenshot or a meme.
It's almost like we made it up. Like it was a fever dream that we both shared.
Yeah, like a shared hallucination that was good casting. But it was fun. We loved hallucinating it.
It was so fun.
It's tough because I enjoyed it on the no notes level, but I almost feel like it maybe should go into basic for similar, not reasons, but similar vibes to Suspicious Partner, where it's like, I know it's very good, but also it's tough to say it's as good as like the no notes dramas.
Yeah, but I think the one thing that's holding me back is the lack of romance. I remember there are maybe subplots that are romance storylines, but for the most part, it's just pure female empowerment. And that makes it so different from the other no notes ones that I'm like, it does feel like no notes, except that there wasn't romance, which is silly. So
it would be the first one that we put up there that was lacking in romance.
Yeah, it feels like Healer has the least romance so far. And then good casting would take it down another tier. Because I swear there's romance in there, but I just don't really remember it.
Yeah, there was like a main romance and then at least one secondary romance. But they just weren't super memorable. That wasn't what I loved about it. I loved the friendship and the action and the crop top under a blazer.
All right, it's going no notes for that.
Heck yeah.
Oh no, this one's gonna be hard. Spring turns to spring. Bro, I don't even remember this. Like, I remember it. It's the two women switching bodies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was chaotic and I want to say basic for this one cuz yeah, I don't remember a bunch. But it was fun and chaotic and lighthearted.
Would you rewatch it though?
It might be not a rewatch. Because I don't know if I would. Yeah, I think we should probably put it in not a rewatch. But would recommend, just only for one time.
It's that thing of like, if we were in the early 2000s, back when you would just flip through TV channels to find something to watch from the set of 20 channels that you had access to, if Spring Turns to Spring was on, I might rewatch it. But as far as in the age of Netflix, I'm not going to turn back on Spring Turns to Spring. I'm just not coming back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I do feel that. Not seeking it out.
Yeah. Okay, what about Flower of Evil?
I feel like, and I could be wrong here, I feel like I know where you would put this one. And okay. I would personally probably put it in no notes, but I feel like you love it for S class, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can justify it. It just, ticked all my boxes. It was, I love the plot twist.
It felt like it was yours. That is what I think of when I think of Flower of Evil. I remember loving it. I remember a lot of the plot. It's not an unmemorable K-drama for me, which is why it feels very no notes for me. Where I did really, really like it, but for you, I know that I feel like Flower of Evil was created for you, Emily.
It's so, and like I got into that. Jason, my husband, and I got into NaNoWriMo last November, National Novel Writing Month, tried to write books. And mine was very much based around Flower of Evil. His was very much based around Bloodhounds, another great show that we have now watched for the pod. But yeah, mine was Flower of Evil. I was like, that's just my perfect show. I don't know why.
It's got suspense. It's got crime. It's got plot twists. It's got surprisingly really good romance.
Really good romance among the thriller horror genre? How? Okay, so where am I allowed to put this?
Yeah, you can put it in S class.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
100%. This is our podcast.
But it's ours, like yours and mine. So if you were like, I really don't like it for S class, I would respect that.
Yeah, I think that if it was just my podcast, it would not be S class, but I did really love it. And I know that it's like a pivotal K-drama for you. And so I think that makes it S class for us, for our podcast.
Okay. Thank you. What about It's Okay to Not Be Okay? I feel like that one's equally difficult for me.
This one I think is fairly difficult. I remember really, really, really loving It's Okay to Not Be Okay for a lot of reasons. And it feels, for me, like a no notes, but I'm not firm on that, right? I'm not like I'll fight for no notes for this one. It just feels that way to me because I really enjoyed watching it. It was there was a lot of drama that was like, there was one particular twist that I was just like, that's so K-drama to have like this part of this show here right now showing up in this way. I just think that it was such an interesting take and it was so creative, and other than that one very K-drama-ish part, I think it pushed a lot of the boundaries of what a K-drama could be or typically was, and I really like it for that. I don't know. Where are you at? I feel like I've talked a lot.
It's like I'm on the same page. I think for me it's no notes, but my brain wants it to be S-Class, and I think that's because of the influence of social media and everyone else loving it so much and feeling that confidence that, like I said, S-Class in the context of this tier list feels like dramas that I could recommend to anyone without any caveats and be like, you're gonna love it. K-dramas are great. Watch this one. And in a way, so many other people saying they loved It's Okay to Not Be Okay feels like it validates putting it in that category. But for me personally, I was like, I liked it. It was a beautiful drama. It didn't feel as exceptional as the S-Class dramas in its emotional impact on me personally. So in that way, it feels no notes. But that feels like the most convoluted, like talking myself in and out of where it should go.
It's tough. I do. Yeah, because I think there's a strong case for S-Class for this one. But I think because both you and I really feel no notes, I feel pretty good about putting it there.
Okay. I think that's me also being like a coward. Like, who's gonna come at us for being like, are you kidding me? No notes for It's Okay to Not Be Okay? We're sorry.
Really?
It's good. It's super good.
It is. It's so good. But yeah, I feel good about no notes for that one. But okay. Everyone who's here also knows that our hearts feel good about S-Class too. Like, they know where we're at. They know.
Yeah. Looking at the S-Class ones, those are ones that I would be excited to have the time to rewatch every single year. And I don't want to watch It's Okay to Not Be Okay every single year. I think that would be too much for me.
Yeah. Would definitely rewatch, but I don't know if I would, keep coming back to it all the time.
Let's make this easy. Tale of the Nine-Tailed.
Tale of the Nine-Tailed. Is it easy? Because for me, it's not a rewatch.
For me, it's not a rewatch.
Okay.
So it was easy, and I don't know why I just assumed you would be on the same page as me. That was cocky. But we were. We were right there.
I got scared. You knew. We knew. You knew definitively. I just kind of knew.
You knew in your heart what the answer was. That's all I needed. It's good.
It's good. So, okay. This one's another easy one. It's a softball, right? Like, we don't have to waffle on this one. It's I won't hold back what it is anymore. The next one is Mr. Sunshine, and it's obviously S-Class.
Obviously. I would watch that every day if I could. Mr. Sunshine is so good.
Just turn it on in the background. The only reason I don't just turn it on in the background of what I'm doing in my daily life is because I can't handle being as devastated constantly as it would make me. But other than that, could watch it every day forever.
Could watch it every day forever, except the emotional impact and that it deserves a sit-down rewatch. It doesn't deserve being on in the background, you know? You want to give it more.
Yeah. You want to give it all of your attention. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
It's so good. Okay, easy. Those two were easy. But what about The Guest?
Mm-hmm. I feel basic about The Guest.
Cool. That's kind of where I'm at. I would probably rewatch it, but it's not like I would super easily recommend it.
I wouldn't super easily recommend it. It was pretty basic horror. Like, there was some good horror, there was some cheesy horror, but overall I liked it. Really disappointed that no one fell in love, very specifically the two male leads.
That's fair.
Would have accepted a throuple. Would have accepted any of the couples. There were a lot of great couples in there, but very specifically the two male leads.
Fair. I thought you were going to say you're disappointed with the ending, which is probably the only part that sticks out in my memory. But yours is more valid. Yours makes more sense. Yeah.
Give us the romance.
Give us the romance. We need it. Oh, what about Mystic Pop-Up Bar? A little mini drama.
Oh, I loved Mystic Pop-Up Bar. I thought it was so fun. I remember the very green flag main character. He had 0 toxic traits. He was the most likable person we've ever seen in a K-drama, possibly.
It was definitely one of those dramas that has little storylines that really stick with you, and I love those.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I really love it for that. I have just sung its praises so hard, so this might be a little out of left field. I do feel that maybe ultimately it might be basic. For me, it's between basic and no notes.
Yeah. I was going to put it in basic until you started singing its praises, and then I was like, we could put it in no notes. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I just don't remember as much as you do.
Looking at the K-dramas in each. Yeah. I remember, a lot of the smaller plot lines. I remember it was a shorter K-drama, but I thought it was perfect that they made it shorter, that they didn't drag it out or try to make it something it wasn't. I think that they paced it really well for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think elevated it a little bit for me and my experience with it. Because if they had made it longer just to add stuff to it, to convolute the storyline, to make it a full 16 to 20 episode K-drama, I don't think it would have been as good. But they kept it, I believe it was 12 episodes. So it was quite short.
Mm-hmm.
Now I keep going back and forth, but I think maybe no notes probably for me, unless
we'll come back and do this again.
Yeah, it was just a fun experience.
200 more episodes, and maybe we'll change our minds. But for now, confidently, no notes.
Oh, I feel like this one's gonna be hard.
Yep, my mister is gonna be a toughie.
Yeah. My mister is tough for a lot of reasons, similar to Uncontrollably Fond, which almost makes me want to put it in not a rewatch, where it is a really tough watch for so long. It's just so it beats you down emotionally.
Yes.
I think we were mad at Uncontrollably Fond for a lot of the episodes. I think we weren't even mad. We were just bummed for so many episodes.
Absolutely. It feels like one of those, similar to Just Between Lovers, one of those that really sticks with you for how sad it is. But I didn't like it for how sad it is. It didn't feel like it got to a really happy ending. It just kind of stopped. It was a fine ending.
It finally stopped. Yeah.
Mostly feel like it just ended and I was free.
Yeah. I think the cast is outstanding. So anyone who hasn't watched that one that's watching this right now, for sure it's worth a watch. The cast is amazing. It's just so it's a moody bummer.
It's a moody bummer.
Almost beginning to end.
But it has Gyuri from Island too, so definitely go watch it for her. She's maybe my favorite character on Island. So
she's so cute.
She's so cute. I'm joking.
She's very little.
She's so little. It's so cute. Like, she is really in it. Obviously, the main cast is what Raquel's talking about, but we just found out that Gyuri's in it, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's so... I was so stoked when they announced that on Island too. I was super hyped. So go see it for Gyuri, but also see it for IU, and it's just
his name is Lee Sung Kim.
It's worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he is a renowned actor, and I feel really bad about what happened.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. We don't have to talk about it here.
Yeah. But amazing work. Go watch My Mister. 18 again is our next one.
That one was so fun. And I think I feel really basic about it.
I feel so basic about it. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. That felt like an easy, like, hopefully we're on the same page. And I'm glad we were. It's basic. It's cute.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally worth a watch. But nothing that necessarily makes it no notes. But also, I would probably rewatch it. So.
Yeah. It's good. What about Another Miss O?
This one was the one I was most nervous about doing.
Oh, really?
Because I feel like you
go. I know where I stand. I know where I'd put it. 100%.
Okay. Maybe we should go with your heart, because my heart fluctuated even as we were watching it. We got an email from a listener partway through watching Another Miss O, and up until we got the email, I was kind of like, about a lot of things, or even maybe critical about some things. And then the way she laid it out for me, by the end of her email, I was like, you know what? Yeah, this one is... I like it. I like this and that, and I don't remember loving the main romance a whole lot, even after her email, but I remember liking the characters a lot more after her email.
What? Oh, I think we might be thinking of different emails, because I remember kind of being neutral on the drama, kind of being meh, and being like, we don't like the romance. And then getting an email where someone was like, yeah, I had to stop watching because of the romance. And so now I'm like, yeah, totally valid. I wouldn't recommend it to people. Where are you at? Are you like no notesing it?
No, not no notesing, but the email brought it up to basic for me because the listener email that I'm thinking of kind of psychoanalyzed some of the actions the characters were taking, because I remember like disagreeing with a lot of them during the show or being like irritated by them. And she gave us a very it gets better email, and then she also like just kind of did a character analysis that helped me think about the characters in a different way that made me like the show a little bit more. But I think I'm good to put it in not a rewatch.
Okay.
Or sorry, is that what you said, or wouldn't recommend?
I was going to say wouldn't recommend, so we can meet in the middle and not rewatch it.
Okay, deal.
Okay. Oh no. What about Move to Heaven? This is another easy one for me, but I don't know if you're on the same page.
It's easy for me, but I don't know if you're on the same page. I feel basic about Move to Heaven.
Oh, I felt no notes about it.
I thought it had a lot of potential, and I liked a lot of aspects of it, but then they had a couple of plot lines near the end that I remember being like, okay. And then the ending was a cliffhanger for a second season, and I don't think we will ever get that second season, and that's really frustrating to me. And I just have always had issues with like things that could have endings not ending because they're like a sequel, but it feels even worse that they're like, we'll set it up for the sequel. This is how confident we are. And then they like nerfed it so hard that no one was interested in the sequel, and so now we're never going to get a second season.
Oh. I know that explanation almost makes me go wouldn't recommend. Just because
wouldn't recommend.
Like, if you want a show that has a start and a finish, which most K-dramas offer, that's why I love them. They're usually closed books. You watch them, you get an arc, a satisfying ending. Not so with Move to Heaven, but it is a good show. Ooh.
It is a good show.
Would you rather put it in basic or not a rewatch?
I think basic?
I think basic. It's funny because I would rewatch it, but I wouldn't recommend it. We need another tier. A Move to Heaven tier.
Another tier.
Like, don't watch it if you
everything
haven't
that
watched
just gives us Move to Heaven vibes.
If you haven't,
if you have, rewatch it.
Yeah, you'll probably love it if you know what's coming. If you don't know what's coming, don't even start it. Don't even get on the train.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Kingdom. Kingdom's an interesting one. We watched 2 seasons of that. And the movie.
Yes. And the movie. The movie, if that was part, are we making it part of it? Are we?
No, we are not.
Them?
We will do the 2 seasons of the show.
Okay, so this is only show.
Yes.
Okay. Man, what do you think?
I think no notes. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Okay.
I thought it was great horror. I thought they did an awesome job with the horror, and here at Play on K, Emily and Raquel love horror.
We do.
No notes.
No notes. Okay, but what about Signal? I have no idea. I have no idea where this goes.
I think it was good, but I don't think it was no notes good, so I kind of want it to go into basic.
Okay.
I think there is a case to be made for not a rewatch in the sense that I don't know that I'll ever rewatch it, but I think overall I feel mostly basic about Signal.
I think a lot of our basic category, where it's not in the not a rewatch category, a lot of them fall into like, if somebody else said they were watching one of these dramas and asked if I wanted to watch an episode with them while we hung out, I'd be like, absolutely, yes. Turn on Signal. That's fine. We're on episode 7. Cool. But I wouldn't turn them on my own, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, not to like actually get into it again.
That's my new psychotic definition of our categories. Our tiers are getting so much more complicated. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna make it through this. Hospital playlist.
I kind of feel no notes.
Okay.
Or S-Class.
But
no notes feels a little more right to me.
Yeah, that's where I was at. I was almost hoping you were going to say no notes or basic so that I could be like, I was going to say no notes or S-Class. So definitely no notes. It's almost S-Class, you guys. It's the category between no notes and S-Class.
Yeah.
It's kind of haunted me. Yep. Honestly, some of the storylines have haunted me, and I would recommend it for that reason. But it's so good.
That is. We'll actually put it down and wouldn't recommend. Just kidding.
I mean, all of us grew up on hospital dramas, right? We've seen the worst possible things that can happen to people for some reason since we were children. House was on the air. But still, as an adult, it can hit different when you watch hospital dramas and they're just like, real bad stuff happens in hospitals, you guys. Not to me, right? Not to my family. It could. Hospital playlist reminds me of that. It could. And I hate that. But that's me. That's my fears.
Yeah. I think that, you're right. You're right.
It's like you with Suspicious Partner, where it's kind of an unreasonable anxiety and an unreasonable reason to dislike a show. But it's holding me back. It's holding me back from being like, you're not S-Class, because if I recommended you to someone who has the same hospital anxieties, they would be mad at me.
It would be over for us. So you don't meet S-Class.
For that reason. Sorry. Okay, what about My Country, the New Age? This feels like a hard one to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I find this one very difficult.
I think not a rewatch.
I think it's in one of the upper 3.
What?
You think that? What?
Oh no, me and Raquel are on different ends. I was going to say one of the lower 3.
Oh shoot. Does that make it basic? I don't think it's S-Class. I don't know why I said upper 3, but like...
And I probably wouldn't put it in wouldn't recommend. So like, it's probably basic.
Yeah,
no notes.
Basic feels good.
Dang.
Basic is difficult to classify at this point.
Like I said, all I've got is someone being like, you're already at my house. We're already chilling. We're turning on My Country, the New Age. It's my show. Sounds good. Sounds good, friend. You don't have to restart it for me. I'll just jump in where you are. What about The Sound of Magic?
Okay. Not a rewatch.
Woo. Easy peasy. Sorry, Ji Chang-wook. It's fine.
Honestly, it just eked out a wouldn't recommend for me, just barely.
That's fair. I guess, yeah. Looking at Lovely Horribly and You're Beautiful, I'm like, no, I think it's better than those. But looking at Chicago Typewriter, I'm like, oh, it might be wouldn't recommend. It's because Chicago Typewriter wasn't bad. And I guess You're Beautiful also wasn't bad. Lovely Horribly is the only drama we've ever watched for this show that I might say is bad. And even then, the acting was good.
Yeah. It was just a bad story.
Yeah. And I kind of feel that about The Sound of Magic, where it's like, I like weird, I like bizarre, but that was a little too much even for me. Trying to talk myself into wouldn't recommend, but I think I'll keep it. It was just not a rewatch.
Yeah, it was a fever dream that I never want to have again.
Yes. Not the good kind of fever dream, like good casting. It was its own. There was a lot more singing.
It was a bad fever dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so much more singing. Lots of high schoolers.
Lots of cops. Terrible cops.
Lots of cops.
Okay. Yep. Let's do Dr. Romantic season 1 specifically.
For me, for my heart, it was basic.
Okay. I was gonna put it in basic. It's like for me in my heart, if this was my tier list only, no notes. I am a little bit obsessed with this show. But I know objectively and reasonably it's a pretty basic drama. He's not a good doctor.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, the things that guy gets away with in the medical field is unhinged.
It's not good. So it's a pretty basic drama. Okay.
Yep.
It's just fun. It's just so much fun. So high stakes, like way too high stakes.
It's a lot of fun. It's when you'd put on if you had someone. Yeah. It's when you'd put on if you had someone over at your house that was chilling anyway, and you guys wanted to watch a medical drama together.
Mm-hmm. You can. If you put on Hospital Playlist, you'd be like, don't talk during this. If you put on Dr. Romantic, you're like, this is fine. We're watching this casually in the background while we hang out.
Yeah.
That's the difference. We're vibing. Where are you going to put Hellbound? Because that has 1 season with 2 completely different vibes.
That maybe not a rewatch.
Okay. I think that's where I'm at. It feels like part 1, episodes 1 through 3, wouldn't recommend. Genuinely fine about it. And then episodes 4 through 6, almost no notes. Like, I really liked it as a horror drama. Altogether, the vibes were just not there for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
Little Women.
I know where I want to put this one. I know what this one was to me personally. Do you know where you want to put this one?
I do, in terms of, like, it feels to play on K like it's an S-class drama, but I don't know if it fits my previously mentioned criteria of, like, I would recommend it to anyone at any time. It just, I think we loved it so much.
Yeah, for me, it's S-class. For me, Little Women feels made for me in the way that Flower of Evil feels made for you.
That is how I think of it.
Where it's like, yeah, it checks all of my boxes. Eat the rich, down with the rich, Kim Go-eun, like Wee Ha-jun. It has it all for me.
It's perfect. It's a perfect drama. Maybe not for everyone, but it was perfect for us.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's easy.
Oh, yes, S-Class.
39. I don't know, man.
It's tough because I do think we have outlined how neither of us can ever watch it again.
Yeah.
But also it was devastating to me in like a no notes kind of way where it hurt me, but it hurt me because it was well done and beautiful. And so I'm a little bit inclined to do no notes for 39, but willing to hear out a hard no on that.
Okay. I am more inclined to not a rewatch, in that it's definitely between no notes and not a rewatch. It's not a basic drama by any means, but it feels similar to the very last episode of Uncontrollably Fond, where it's like, I can't do that again. Like, the whole drama is akin to Uncontrollably Fond's last episode. I can't do it again. It's too sad.
Yeah, I can never go back. It's so good, but it did ruin my life a little bit.
Yeah. It kind of like my Mister. Like, the vibes were just really sad the whole time.
Yeah, but a lot sweeter than my Mister. Also, like bittersweet versus my Mister just being a bummer.
Oh no. So does it go in no notes? Probably. It does live in my head.
Yeah. There's one scene specifically that I still get emotional if I think about it, like during the day.
It's almost like I'm resentful to put it in no notes because it's such a good drama, but it hurts so much to even think about. Hey, don't exist anymore, 39. I need you to not.
What you did to us, so uncool.
So unfair. We have to think about you all the time.
How dare you?
Oh. Let's do an easier one. Let's do Love and Contract.
Basic.
Oh, Basic's nice. I was going to put it in not a rewatch.
Yeah.
Basic's okay.
I also won't be rewatching it, but maybe not like profoundly not rewatching it, just kind of like, it was basic. It was just, what you see is what you get.
Fair. Yeah. It felt more akin to, like, no offense, Touch Your Heart, While You Were Sleeping, W. Like a good fluffy romance, but not so good. Not the best fluffy romance.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, absolutely not. Okay. But Reply 1988.
S-Class. What's up?
It speaks for itself. We took our sweet time watching it, and then we can't unsee it. It's too perfect.
Yeah, would have it on in the background, but also would pay complete attention to it anytime. It's so good.
It's so good. Would show to others. Would watch on a movie night. Would invite people over and trick them into watching it. It's just so good.
Yeah. I tried to trick my mom into watching it. She was too sleepy. She did fall asleep. I haven't forgiven her. We fight about it.
still bring it up. We called it out on the Instagram just in case she missed it.
She texted me after that reel came out. She was laughing, but she did feel called out.
I'm sorry. You were called out. But I'm sorry.
You were called out. You were sleeping, Mom. Mom.
During Reply 1988. 94, you can sleep through.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, we don't know anything about that. 88?
88? No. Don't come to my home and sleep here.
Pay attention. What about One Day Off?
Oh, that one was so cute.
I want to put it in no notes. But that feels like maybe even a lot.
Yeah, I love no notes for One Day Off. I think that's great.
Cool. Cool. It's good. It's a sweet little drama. This is where we got a bit messy because we watched Alchemy of Souls Part 1 and then these next two and then Alchemy of Souls Part 2. I think we're just going to do Alchemy of Souls all together. So, are you okay doing Gonjiam next? Which is not even a K-drama?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a movie. It's just like a found footage horror movie.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it a little bit hard to classify, but I know we both liked it. Like, we had a good time with it, but I also remember thinking that they had a lot of missed opportunities to make it a way better horror movie, so I kind of feel basic about it.
I feel really basic about it.
Okay.
I like that. It was good. There were notes. But I would watch it again, probably. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun Halloween time. I don't think we watched it during Halloween time, but it was a fun Halloween time film. So I probably would.
You know what I wouldn't rewatch? Worst of Evil.
Worst of Evil. Yeah, not a rewatch.
But I was gonna say
a tough watch.
You wouldn't recommend. I don't think it's in the wouldn't recommend category because it's almost like an Oscar-winning drama where you're like, this is so well made that I think people who appreciate good art can appreciate what it is. But it's super hard to watch if you do not do well with violence.
Yeah. But if you love a crime show, if you love like gang and like gritty cop, I don't know, all of those combined items, totally for that person who loves those things. It made me anxious. Wouldn't rewatch it.
Yeah. It was a lot for us. We were not emotionally ready for that. But it is very well made. So it's got that.
Yes.
Alchemy of Souls.
So this one is among the top, I would say, 4 most difficult ones for me to classify.
I think this is number 1 for me.
I mean, honestly, it could be because I'm sitting here and I cannot say any of the rankings. I can't say any of the tiers. I don't know where to put it.
It almost feels like the only tiers I can put it in are based on other people's opinions. Very I think other people loved it so much that it's no notes. I didn't really like it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like good, but we had so many notes.
Yeah, lots of notes. All the time. There's like things I really appreciate about it, kind of in the same way that I talked about Encounter, about how there are aspects of it, of what it is, that I deeply appreciate. I love non-westernized high fantasy because I love high fantasy, but most of what I'm exposed to is like Western fantasy. And I loved that it wasn't that. It wasn't like most of other things I've ever seen. But I also, yeah, we had lots of notes. We had lots to say about it.
Yeah. Would you rewatch it?
I don't think so, but not even firmly, obviously, because my answer was I don't think so. It wasn't yes or no. I'm
inclined for basic.
Yeah, it's tough because it doesn't feel super basic, but it doesn't fit anywhere else.
Yeah. It almost does, where it's like S-class in some aspects, no notes in some aspects. I wouldn't rewatch it for some aspects, and I wouldn't recommend it to everyone all the time. If it's in all the categories in a weird, like, aspect of the show, but not as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just so much to it.
Yeah. We'll just leave it off.
Basic? Yeah, we'll just delete it. Just delete that picture.
Pretend this one was never here, guys. Because if we publish this and it appears in any of the categories, we're gonna get hate mail.
Oh, basic just got big.
We got big basic boy. Okay. Next is business proposal.
Business proposal, no notes for me.
Okay. It's no notes for me too. We are on the same page. That was a good one. What about Gyeongsung Creature?
I think that we had really different feelings on Gyeongsung Creature.
Oh. I think I would put it in no notes.
I loved it.
Yeah, would you put it in S-class?
I like it for no notes. No, I don't think I would S-class for Gyeongsung Creature. I did love it, but I didn't feel S-class about it.
Okay. Then we have different opinions of it, but I can respect it for what it was. It was incredible and so poignant, so beautiful. Just a little bit much for me.
Yeah. All of those things. +1.
+1. My demon.
My demon, I think she's basic.
She is basic. My demon, we loved you. You're basic.
You're basic.
That feels good. Yeah, because it was fine. We just watched it, and I'm like, definitely at this point uninclined to rewatch it. But maybe in a few years. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep. We did it.
I'm so proud of us. Look at this.
It only took us like a really long time to get through all of those.
Oh, it was forever, but it was worth it. And it was a lot of dramas. It's been a long time coming. What, 7 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. 7 years of dramas ranked. It took us 7 years to watch them and almost 7 years to rank them.
Oh, but hopefully this gives any new listeners, any new watchers, a better idea of what we like and whether our podcast, Play on K, will be a vibe for them, or whether they're like, completely disagree with all your opinions, which is totally valid, totally fair. And you don't have to listen to our show. You'll probably not like what we have to say. Hopefully we found our people, though.
Yeah. We found our people in a simple tier list of 49-ish dramas.
Where did you fall on my demon? I feel like there's some controversial ones in here where people will be like, yes, I see that, and I connect with that, and I think I'll like these girls. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think that we'll be seen by a lot of people. I think we've let some people down, and to those people, that's okay. We can disagree on this one.
We're not sorry. It's okay. It's okay to disagree.
It's okay. They're there.
You enjoy your Lovely Horribly and your Chicago Typewriter, and you'll be fine. We won't.
We won't. We will not be there. We will be watching a basic show with someone who's only kind of into K-dramas, or an S-class show with each other.
Yes. On repeat. Oh, this is a fun time. If you want more of Play on K, you can find our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's called Play on K.
Yes, and if you have any, if you wanted to like chit chat, obviously, like I said when talking about Another Miss O, we've had people change my mind about stuff. So if there's anything that you're like, gotta get this off my chest, go ahead and email us at playonkpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. You can also find our website at playonk.com. That's where all of our past episodes are hosted. You can leave comments directly on the episodes. You can find links to our affiliates. They're a great way to support our show while getting something amazing for yourself. And you can sign up for our newsletter so you never miss when we start a new drama.
Yes, and then we also have our Patreon. That is one of the best places to come and hang out with us. We do video more often on our Patreon. We've been watching Island 2 recently, so if you're interested in watching some Korean reality TV with us, we usually have an extra pre-show chat where we get to talk about stuff like that. So come and check us out at patreon.com/playonk.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at PlayOnK Podcast, on X, previously Twitter, and YouTube at PlayOnK, and on TikTok at PlayOnK_Emily.
Yes, and then the absolutely freest way to help us out and to help other K-drama podcast listeners find us is to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to us. And we love to see it, we love to hear it, and it helps us out a lot, so thank you.
Yeah. Right now, the best way to support us is by trying Magic Mind. You can find that link and the code in our description down below, but give it a shot, little pun intended, and see how it goes for you. We'd love to hear if you try it.
Yeah, and that's all from us. So you can catch us next week for our current K-drama where we are watching Lovely Runner. And thanks for sticking around with us for our 300th episode.
Yeah! Happy anniversary, Raquel!
Happy anniversary, Em!
Okay, bye!
Okay, bye!
Bye-bye!